姐姐有什么不好的？姐姐有钱、有颜、有阅历、有身材，穿衣有品，对不对？我身边有很多05年的弟弟也跟我说了，他们不会找妹妹，因为妹妹穿衣土，没有品位，妹妹没有社会的阅历，只会一味的索取啊。当然这不是绝对的，我也不可以攻击妹妹，我只能说姐姐的优点。就拿我自身而言，我的确有阅历啊，还有米，还有身材，还有颜值，就可以了。我今年39岁啊，我的工作阅历，我的生活阅历。
我靠，那么老啊！
啊，对吧？
我居然爱上了一个老女人了！
听我说，
姐妹们，我这种37岁大龄且至今未婚未育的女性。
Sisters, as a woman like me who is 37, older, and still unmarried and childless, what exactly have I gotten after all these years? Actually, many people are quite tolerant of this kind of older woman nowadays. Of course, I am still unmarried and childless, and I actually enjoy it. I am enjoying this process of being unmarried and childless right now. I still cannot really accept suddenly entering a marriage, or having a child enter my life. I am not ready yet. Of course, sometimes when I see other people's kids they are very cute, but if I had a child myself, I feel I still cannot fully accept the process of becoming a mother, except that there is suddenly an extra life in my own life. Relatively speaking, my life is only about work, then becoming prettier, and then being free and easy. For example, when I was younger, in my 20s, around 27 or 28, at that time I really wanted to get married. I felt like I had nothing. I needed a marriage to save me. It felt like I needed two people to share the days that were not very well off back then, or that I had no sense of security inside. For example, at my age now, whether I stay single, or whether I want a child later, I have enough confidence to do it. To put it plainly, it means I have an economic foundation. When I was 26 or 27, 27 or 28, when the economic foundation was not enough, I felt like, I seem to need someone. Actually, I found that back then, the reason for everything was that I did not have enough. I did not have such a strong inner self. That is how it was. So sisters, if you want many things in life to go at your own pace, first you need to have a relatively stable economic foundation. You really need to have enough money. If you have enough money, you can live the life you want to live. Whether it is a child, a husband, or a family, no matter where you are, the economic foundation determines your status in the family. For example, someone like me, I did not get married, I did not have children. When I go back to my hometown, ordinary people do not dare to say anything about me, because the house and the car were all bought by me. Even if they want to talk, they do not dare to say it to my face. They only dare to quietly say it to my older sister or to people nearby. I can choose to go home, and I can also choose not to go home. The most direct way I see my parents is to give money. Those women who got married, they have children, they cannot give this money, but I can give it, and I give money. But I still think, if possible, if I can accept having a child myself, I will still consider needing to have a child, but I still have not figured it out. But why do I feel that up to now? Deep inside I still feel like I am in my 20s. I have not accepted that I am already almost 40. I do not feel that way. But I also have to say one harsh reality. At my age, 37, about 80% of the friends around me are married, or even remarried and then had a child and then divorced again, but I feel they are not living very well. It feels like life is a total mess. Instead, people over 30, getting married is relatively more stable, because they clearly know what they wanted at that time. Maybe getting married too early back then, it was like my thinking back then, all aspects of me were unstable. I needed to find someone to share some of it for me. I think whether it is getting married, or staying single like me, as long as you are happy, or when your economic foundation is sufficient, you will find that many worries can be eased. No matter what, I hope all sisters live well, whether single, or married, or divorced and alone, no matter which one, you must move toward a better life.
我今年38岁，没结婚，没孩子。
I am 38 this year, not married and no kids. Many netizens comment that when you get old with no kids, you will have something to cry about then. So here comes the question, money and children, which one is more reliable? My answer is money. I think the most reliable thing in this world is money. Money is convenient to take out. Some people say, will children not take care of you? They might take care of you, but there is no filial child by the sickbed for a long illness. They also have to make money, and it is not that easy for them to struggle in society. They have a family, they have children. How could they have that much time to stay with you? What they can do responsibly is at most, when something happens to you they help you once. Long term is definitely not possible. You cannot say money is all powerful, but with money you can live a superior life. If I have money I can hire a nanny. If it is not satisfactory I can change one. Many people say that 99% of problems in this world can be solved with money, and the remaining 1% needs money even more. So in this world, there is nothing that cannot be solved without money. Now even the post-2000 generation knows to work hard to make money, then what reason do we post-80s and post-90s have not to work hard? So no matter what age you are, you should save some money. You do not know what will happen. Now no matter what you run into, you need money. You might say I am very realistic, then let it be realistic.
32岁大龄单身，出门相亲的一天。
A day of going out on a blind date as a 32-year-old older single. Today for the blind date, I specifically changed into a newly bought dress, and I also sprayed my favorite perfume. When I was waiting for the other person in the restaurant, honestly I was quite nervous. I think blind dates are like stock trading. Essentially they are both a value transaction. At this moment I am tightly holding my chips as I walk into the market, waiting to be examined. Today's guy is 2 years older than me, 34, has a graduate degree, works at a state-owned enterprise, and has an official post. He said when he first heard I was 32, he actually already passed on me. Now seeing me in person, he is still quite satisfied with me. I said I currently do not have a job. He seemed not to mind. He said no job is perfect. You can put all your energy into preparing for pregnancy and having a baby. In the end he said because my age is right there, he worries about my fertility. If we are together, we must first get pregnant before he will go get the marriage certificate. Sure enough, in this value transaction called blind dating, everyone's primary goal is to hold on to principle and protect their own interests. After the blind date ended, I came alone to the riverside to clear my mind. The nerves that had been tight all day finally got released at this moment. The blind date guy sent a message asking when to meet next time. I decided that for an uncomfortable relationship, I should treat it like a stock that broke below the stop-loss line, cut it off decisively and never drag it out. Now I finally understand that sentence. Once a person passes 30, everything becomes understandable, acceptable, and at the same time everything can also be let go.
44岁至今未婚未育。
44 years old and still unmarried and childless. Some people say, is it not the same no matter who you marry? How could living together be the same? Some people see you cry and will first hug you. Some people will reason with you. Some people even have a worse temper than you. So how could this life be the same with whoever you live with? When you meet the right person, you will find that two people can talk properly. When problems come up, he will not blame and complain about you. He will think about solving it well together with you. When you have emotions, he will soothe you, instead of rushing to blame you, criticize you. Only after you have loved a truly gentle partner will you discover that love can make a person gentle. And true love will let you feel the most real gentleness and warmth in exhausting days. A good partner can spare you half of the suffering in this world. A terrible partner will extinguish all the light in your life. So if you choose the wrong other half in life, then every step of the rest of your life is wrong. The other person's character, morals, and sense of responsibility, marriage, is the only chance in a lifetime to choose a family member. Did you choose right?
我这辈子是不可能将就的，一点都将就不了。
In this life I cannot possibly settle. I cannot settle at all. Because I am always asked, you are already 35, you are not married, are you anxious? I am very anxious, but if you are anxious, will you settle? Will you find someone you do not like, or someone much older than you, or find a very poor man? No, all no, I do not accept any of these, I do not want any of these. If I settle now, then were my past years of insisting meaningless, was my past refusal to settle meaningless. I insisted for nothing for so many years, and now that I am in my 30s, I go settle, find someone who is nothing, and not even enough for me to lose face and embarrass myself. So I would rather be proudly single, and I will never wrong myself, right? Forcing myself to marry someone I do not like and am not satisfied with is absolutely impossible.
我们该为了结婚而结婚，去将就一个没有那么爱的人吗？
Should we get married just for the sake of getting married, and settle for someone we do not love that much? As a 35-year-old older leftover woman, from my 20s to 35, over these 10 years, I did not meet the kind of love I wanted to marry. And I think the chance of encountering true love in a person's lifetime is really very slim. Only meeting the right person at the right time, that kind of love is a natural progression. But I am already 35, if I do not get married again, I might miss the last train of marriage and childbirth in this life. Then if I get on the train, and settle for someone I do not love that much, like everyone else have children, support my husband and teach my children, live this ordinary life, spending a lifetime like this plainly is also fine. What if one day after I get married, I meet true love again, and then I suddenly discover that my previous life was all settling, all just living together, and this new person I met, only he can give me the ideal life I want, then what should I do? Would I abandon my previous family to be with him?
44岁丁克女光棍，有人问我说你这么大年纪了。
I am a 44-year-old dink female bachelor. Someone asked me, you are this old, does your family not care? Did your parents urge you to get married before? How could they not, but I think I am pretty awesome. I successfully changed their mindset. I said before, when I was in my 20s, I left my hometown. At that time I wanted to earn 100,000 yuan. Then I would go back home to buy a house, but I accidentally earned more, and then I did not want to go back to my hometown. Young people go out to make it, after earning money who would want to go back to their hometown, right? At that time I was single-minded about making money, and at that time I also had a boyfriend, but he was a jerk, so I will not talk about that. The signal I sent to my parents was that I am a career woman. Back then I earned money quickly, and bought a house for the family, so they also felt my decision was not wrong. Because actually since I was little, school, work, and all that, I never made them worry, so in the eyes of the whole family, I was a successful woman. My mom found someone to read my fortune, and that so-called master said, your daughter's marriage will definitely be after 28. The result is I am almost 48 now. There is a saying that is very right, distance makes affection and closeness breeds contempt. My parents just feel, I am too far from home, for so many years I have been fighting outside, they feel I have had it especially hard. And then the marriage situations of the people around me, including actually my own older sister, are just so my parents feel, the times have changed now. I told them, look, they all ended up like this, do you want me to be like them too? Instead of a total mess, it is better to be like this myself, relaxed and easy, right? My parents have completely stopped caring, they have also been slowly influenced by this era and this internet, and then accepted it. Their hope for me now is health, as long as you are happy, that is enough. It is just that my mom is the type who worries, every time she calls there is always one sentence, as long as you do not get married, in my eyes you will always be a child. Oh right, there is another reason, I have an older sister, she already completed the task of getting married at 25, and having a child at 28. In my family, whether I get married or not, they are not that demanding. Also, the relatives in the family, I basically do not contact them. For so many years honestly I also went back relatively little. During holidays before, they would still talk about me, and I would just smile. Now I got older, I do not know why I became stubborn, my temper also got worse. When they talk about me, I do not really respond, so later they stopped talking too. I might be the only woman among all my friends around me who does not get married, does not have children, and has decided that I would rather be single for a lifetime. So what? Anyway, whether to choose marriage, whether the family accepts it, every family is different. In this life, I have lived to now, 45 years old, and it is like this, parents support it, friends acknowledge it, I think it is pretty good. In the future, just be safe, healthy, and happy, that is it, right?
In just 10 years, the number of unmarried women of marriageable age in China has exceeded 100 million. Many women labeled as older leftover women are not unwanted, but would rather stay single than lower their standards or settle. Their criteria for choosing a partner largely come from popular online toxic chicken soup. For example, a man who spends money on you may not love you, but a man who does not spend money definitely does not. Women are meant to be cherished, and true love means unconditionally tolerating everything about you. Women misled by these ideas want freedom on one hand, yet still long for marriage on the other. And in this inner contradiction, they gradually move toward being older and unmarried. On the surface, it looks like a problem caused by toxic chicken soup. But in essence, it is the result of capital precisely exploiting human nature through excessive praise. Because women's incomes are generally not high, Capital simply binds love together with consumption, forcing men to pay. From Valentine's Day onward, giving gifts became the standard, and the price of gifts turned into a form of comparison. Over time, emotional connection became overridden by consumer values. And when choosing a partner, economic conditions became the default priority. Today, older unmarried women can roughly be divided into two groups. One group openly puts material conditions first, while the other claims to be independent on the surface, but still treats material resources as the core leverage. Even more extreme, some relationship influencers openly spread distorted views, treating men as resources and emotions as tools, teaching people to try to change their fate through marriage. But reality is harsh. Surveys by the Women's Federation pointed out long ago that the incomes of older unmarried women are generally low. About half earn less than 3,000 yuan per month, and fewer than 1% earn more than 10,000 yuan per month, with no income advantage and no age advantage, yet still hoping for both material abundance and emotional perfection. The difficulty is truly harder than climbing to the sky. The real way out is not to change one's fate through marriage, but to face reality, reset one's views on consumption and marriage, adjust expectations, and only then is it possible to break out of the predicament. So what do you think about the phenomenon of more than 100 million older leftover women in China? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I really look forward to hearing your voice. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.